Khatri madam to give her speech and presentation.
Trust is peace of mind. Trust grows into happiness when it partners with protection. So what does it take to be trusted by an entire country? What does it take to be trusted today, tomorrow, and forever? What does it take to bring trust and protection together? A decade of living our values, transparency, empathy, agility, motivation, and dedicated service. At SBI General Insurance, these values have helped us grow from strength to strength, propelling us to do the new, driving us on a path never taken before. Today, we are powered by a new positioning, a new identity, and a whole new momentum. Today, crores of customers trust us to protect what matters most to them. Today, we are poised to catapult ourselves to never before heights. We are SBI General Insurance. Suraksha और भरोसा दोनों.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank Salman sir and his team for giving us all a platform to meet again in person and share the new developments and knowledge. So, like Salman sir said, that in Corona period, the pandemic period, we all suffered a lot, we all faced a lot of things, but one of the biggest aggrieved party in the Corona period was our exporters. And for sure, we faced a lot of issues due to boundary being seized and transits being banned. But there was a huge issue which we faced due to receivables being dishonored. We were not receiving the credit sales which we ought to receive. So that's why the presentation which we are making here is related to the trade credit insurance, which will surely insure you in such kind of situations. So that 30 to 40% of our total sales are actually going on credit, and out of which maybe 10% is not even coming back, or maybe not coming back at the time which we have allotted to them. So this is a policy which will cover you in such periods where either you did not receive your money back or it was deferred as per the period which was allotted. So this is a product which is going to cover all kinds of traders, manufacturers, any unit which is situated in India or is headquartered in India can be covered under this policy. So the type of cover which we have under this policy is one which is commercial risk, and the second one is the country risk. Commercial risk, you must all be aware that when there's an insolvency, when there's a protracted default, when there's a delay in the payment, or the LC opening bank is not making the payment at the end of the day, we all suffer due to it. So these things can be covered under this policy. And any kind of political risk also, war, turmoil, that can also be a part of as a coverage under this policy. So what are the benefits? Basically, I would just come on the point where how SBI General would be benefiting the insured under this product. So under this product, basically, an insurer like SBI General would never act as an insurer only, but as a partner. So as and when you get involved, get insured by under trade receivable policy, your risk in R&D part will be taken. R&D part will be taken care of by the insurer. We will take care of all your research and development. In case you want to expand in a new market, you can come to us, you can let us know that this is the market or this is the segment you want to expand in. We will do the R&D for you. We would let you know that, okay, these are the companies who are good, whom you should deal with, and as per the ratings which are available with our credit rating committee, we'll take the call for you and we'll update you about it. Secondly, we will always be acting along with you as a partner, even when you're dealing with a particular company who's your customer. If that company starts defaulting in the market somewhere, not with you, we'll come and update you about it. And everything would be coming up to you through a portal, which will be an online service that will be available 24/7 to you. This is what I was talking about, our unique value proposition. And even at the time of claim, if there is a default of the payment, or if there is a delay in the payment, we would be allotting our own committee to do the recovery of the payment. You would not have to you would not have to take care of that. We will take care of it. So the sectors which we are covering, we're covering almost all the sectors. This policy covers all the sectors except jewelry. But everything which is under the umbrella of the market, it is all getting covered. So how does this actually work? So basically, I'll just explain it through this chart. Let's say you've raised an invoice on 1st of March and you've allotted your buyer a period of 60 days for repayment. So within the period of 60 days, if there is a repayment, that's great. If there is not, then we would allow you an automatic extension of 60 more days. So let's say your buyer, 1st of March you've raised an invoice, up to 150 days technically you are allowed to extend the credit period up to 150 days total. And when the 150 days end, you can lodge the claim to us, or whichever your insurer you are with, you can lodge the claim, and then after that we would take the rights from you for the recovery. We will be the person who would take up the recovery from the bank or from the from your buyer. So that period would also take 150 days maximum. In case the recovery happens within 150 days, we'll come back and pay you the amount. For sure, we're covering 85% of the invoice value, but in case 100% recovery comes up, we'll pay you the 100% amount which has been recovered. And then after, in case in the period of 150 days also it did not come up, 85% of the invoice value will still be paid to you by us if your buyer is not paid. So yeah, this is the basic policy which we have. Now for the financiers specifically, recently there are new developments which have come into the market through IRDA. One, this policy is already assignable, so it can be assigned to the financer who has funded your receivables. And recently now, like Mandal sir also pointed, TREDS is a new booming platform for any kind of bill discounting. So we are also covering any bill discounting which is happening on TREDS. Single bill also. Even single buyers can be covered for small units who want to ensure they're single buyers, where they feel that, okay, this is one of the riskiest buyers, I would want to cover it under receivable policy, I would want to ensure it to be involved. So that can also be covered, factoring is covered. And now financiers can also take this policy. And before this new guideline, private insurers or the market players except ECGC were not allowed to cover pre-shipment. So now we are also allowed to cover pre-shipment. So any kind of pre-shipment default or a post-shipment default can all be covered in the umbrella of trade receivable policy. So that's it from our side. Thanks a lot.
Good morning. Thanks to Mr. Solanki, the SME Chambers of India, for inviting me at this occasion, SME Manufacturer and Exporter Summit. It is indeed a pleasure for me, on behalf of Indian Institute of Packaging, my personal behalf. I thanks to the organizer, such a wonderful gathering here. We can say, like farmers, the SME is the boon for our country. And of course, when we talk about different industry, different commodities, and when we correlate this with the packaging, each and every business requires packaging. Each and every commodity requires packaging. We can't imagine it, business without the packaging. And when we talk about the different horizon of the packaging, the MSMEs, the major sector, more than 90% of the packaging industry falls in the SME sector. We can say packaging is a silent salesman, but in current scenario, we can say is a packaging is an aggressive tool of marketing. It was earlier we used to say, okay, packaging is silent salesman, but we can say packaging is a tool of marketing. Once you have a good manufacturing practice, you have finished your production, the work of packaging comes. Therefore, packaging is a tool of marketing as well as important for logistic and supply chain management. Consumer in sound, safe condition. So big responsibility is on packaging. So now packaging is now how we can define the word packaging. The packaging is a science. Packaging is an art. It is a combination of science and art. Now, one word we can add it is it is economy involved when we market a product. Without consideration of the cost of the packaging, you cannot calculate the profit. So therefore, packaging is a marketing tool. Now we are talking about the 7 P of your marketing mantra is packaging. Before coming to the main point, okay, how do we just overview, you can see how the packaging industry is doing. Even we have done a survey. Before pandemic, the growth of the packaging was more than 17%. After the pandemic, during the pandemic, the most important tool to complete the supply chain was the packaging. First, government permission came, was the drug and food item. Then it was the packaging was considered, the permission is given that packaging industry should be open. Because without the packaging, we cannot supply essential commodities like food and pharmaceutical. Then the study, we have done a study during the pandemic also. And after that, some report during the pandemic, we came with the report with the Exim Bank of India. Okay, the packaging industry is still the sustaining growth around 14 to 15%. When we talk overall the packaging industry, the growth is more than $50.5 billion US. When you compare with the international growth, the global packaging industry is around now 1 trillion billion, more than $975 billion US business, which is growing at the rate of around 4.5%. When compared with the global growth of the packaging industry, the growth of the Indian packaging industry is extremely well, we can say. India is fourth largest business coming from the packaging industry. When we talk about the geographical distribution of the packaging, Asia Pacific region is the third largest packaging market, which is growing around the 38 to 40%. The share, we can say like 38 to 40% share is from the Asia Pacific region, which is growing and better than the international global growth is around 5 to 6%. When we talk about the Indian export of the packaging material, more than $850 million US business we are doing from the packaging industry. witnessing the growth of 14%. And of course, already I have discussed about even the post-pandemic, the estimated growth is sustaining around 15%. Certain characteristics, certain level of quality to be maintained. So how we can see? Finally, we can summarize the packaging may be defined as a mean of ensuring safe delivery of your product to the ultimate consumer in sound, safe, and overall a minimal cost is very much important. So economy, what I was talking in initial quotation, economy is very much now related with the packaging. When we talk about the packaging, cost is involved. So your packaging, when you provide the solution, you must consider the cost of the packaging materials. For one example, I would like to say, people are talking, okay, what is the alternative biodegradable packaging? The one answer is coming in our mind is the naturally biodegradable packaging material is PLA-based packaging material. This is not a new concept for the world. This is not the new concept for the country. But the cost when we compare with the plastic packaging, with the PLA-based packaging material, which is called as the biodegradable packaging material, the cost is more than 300%. So once your packaging, you are giving the solution to the packaging which is not cost effective, not affordable, it will not enhance your packaging business. It will not consider as a solution of packaging. So whatever the packaging you are going to design, you have to optimize in such a way, design your packaging in such a way, so that it must be cost effective, affordable, and usable. That the packaging must be, we can say, okay, packaging raw material manufacturer, packaging material converters, packaging user industry. These are the different horizons of the packaging industry. Then, when we talk about the packaging materials, scientific packaging material is very much important. We have to understand what is the scientific requirement to pack your product, how much strength you require. Accordingly, then you have to design. When we talk about the design of the packaging, two aspects is very much important. One is functional aspect of the packaging, another is aesthetic. Both are important when we talk about the packaging solutions. We cannot ignore to the one aspect of the design of the packaging. For example, if you have a good strength of the packaging, if design is not good, you cannot penetrate. Therefore, we can say that the packaging is a tool of advertisement. Packaging helps for brand differentiation. It adds value of your product. So design, aesthetic design is equally important when you have to have a packaging design concept. The basic functions, what I have mentioned about it, protection, preservation, presentation, and overall cost and containment. Your packaging should be such a way, you have to design and optimize your packaging. It must contain your product in most effective way. Then secondary packaging, we can say, the convenience, identification. We have to have information to the customer. The compliances through the proper labeling is important. 12th commandment is important when we talk about the labeling. Labeling promotes your product, brand value of your product, and gives the legal compliances. Therefore, I have mentioned about the packaging role, product marketing. When we have to market your product, the 7P concept is very much important. 7P packaging is that the shows of the product in the best light display, the price and value of the product, communicate the product, benefits to the consumer, and in what physically appears in the overall distribution systems. India is land of opportunities. What I have mentioned about it, the gross value of the food processing has increased from 1.3 lakhs crores to the 2.08 lakh crores. And especially the packaged food products. Retail chain growth is 15%. India's export for the agriculture product has increased up to the $32.7 billion US. And there is direct foreign direct investment. This opportunity gives food processing industry growth is there, opportunities in food processing retail chain, so ultimately we have a packaging opportunities. Therefore, industry need to adopt latest technology, produce good of the global level, so that we can position in high quality packaging materials for the user industry, especially food and pharmaceutical industry. During the pandemic and post-pandemic, one new horizon we can say is the e-commerce packaging has a huge, tremendous demand created. The huge opportunities for the e-commerce packaging, customized packaging. Therefore, the global food packaging market, we can correlate, is more than $304 billion US, and Indian packaging industry is more than 32 billion US dollar. So these are the different retail, online, Indian packaging market side. You can see the India has seen a sustainable packaging growth in food and beverages due to increase of the packaged food consumption and awareness and demand of the quality food products. Now you can see how the e-commerce post-COVID has created more demand for the good packaging, lighter weight packaging systems. The overall, I can summarize the benefit of good packaging operation. The packaging must be lighter in weight. Careful planning of the package size to may allow better space utilizations, optimization of the packaging in terms of the packages as well as your logistic packaging. More productive packaging may reduce the damage during the transportations and handling. And of course, environmental conscious packaging may save the disposal cost. Returnable containers provide cost saving and environmental benefits. Interface with the material handling and equipment is also important for the fulfillment of the good packaging operations. And now, more requirement of automatic untouched packaging. So these are the modern trends you can see. Communicative packaging, demand for the communicative packaging, augmented reality of the packaging, where the packaging will narrate the whole story about the packaging and its use. Smart packaging, we are talking about that, okay, where you can track and trace your product. Active packaging, the packaging which will interact with the customer, and nano packaging material, so that functionality of the packaging is improved by the application of nano packaging. And overall, I can say the time for the tomorrow is the robotic packaging. So how the augmented packaging you can see. Circular economy, I'm not going to touch because it needs another 1 hour to discuss. Few of the challenges all you are aware. Poor supply chain linkage, infrastructure bottleneck, lack of skilled manpower. And of course, industry needs some support from the ministry so that to fulfill the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat, the soft loan provision. What the industry, when we have interaction with the industry used to say they need some support from the industry. So now, just one slide I will finish. The Indian Institute of Packaging, how we can, we are doing in this situation for last 1.5 year in pandemic, what are the recent achievement Indian Institute of Packaging we have done for the industry. It is my duty to brief about the Indian Institute of the Packaging before finishing and concluding of my presentation. Indian Institute of Packaging is an autonomous institute under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India. We have headquarters in Mumbai. We have 6 regional centers: Kolkata, Hyderabad, Ahmedabad, Delhi, Chennai, and last month we have established new center in Visakhapatnam. And very soon we are going to inaugurate the new center in Bangalore. This shows how the packaging demand in the country is increasing. We started our institute in the year of 1966 to fulfill the all requirement export mandate of the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. We have one of the best testing facility in the country. We have more than 300 packaging testing parameters. All our laboratories are annual accredited laboratories. And to fulfill this manpower requirement, we have long-term and short-term training program and course. We have started for the last 36 years. We used to have a 2 years postgraduate regular courses. Now I'm happy to share before all of you, this pandemic, first time we have started a course, MS course in packaging technology in the country, first time, in the pattern of Michigan State University. To give more skilled manpower, to provide the more research manpower for the country. Just the one slide I would like to highlight. Recently we have developed innovative packaging design for jaggery, nalengu. It is very traditional traditional food items which is available in eastern part of the country, which has a highly perishable products. The shelf life was 1 day. With the innovative packaging design, we have enhanced the shelf life up to the 180 days, and we got a patent. We have also not only one focus area. We have done also handicraft and handloom is another important sector for the country. We know we need to hand-holding for this handicraft and handloom sector. We have designed and developed a specification for 40 package design for handloom and handicraft segment. Ultimately, who will get the benefits? The MSME sector involved, you're manufacturing the packaging. Not only, we have also done a good job, organic package design development. You can see the honey packaging we have developed to support the travel community. This project was sponsored by this Ministry of Travel Affairs. This pandemic situation, we have developed more than 15 package design of our different commodities. We are also working to fulfill the mission of Atmanirbhar Bharat alternative packaging solution. We are in the final stage of the bamboo packaging standard inspection will develop, so it will also support to the logistic packaging. With these words, once again, I thank you very much.
We invite Dr. Saurabh Kumar. He is a joint DGFT from the Mumbai, and he is going to talk about the strengthening MSMEs to enhance export, role of the Department of Commerce and DGFT. Dr. Ji, please.
Welcome to all exporters, and all of you know Government of India taking lot of initiatives for the benefit of the exporters, especially MSME exporters, where because in order to make the campaign of Make in India campaign very successful, most successful campaign, without effective participation of these SME sector, it is not possible. So, in recognition of the fact, Government of India leaving no stone unturned to make the SME sector very strong and vibrant. So let us see what are the various benefits given to the all exporters. At the end we will see what are special and differential treatment to the SME sector actually. First we will see what are the various export promotion schemes available to the all exporters. you might have seen earlier to take IEC itself used to take some days or sometimes months. Now within the same day you are getting the IEC, importer and exporter code, because of the ease of doing business, improvement in ease of doing business. So that is the sea change you can notice. So let us see, anywhere in the world the exporter should not export the taxes imposed on the raw material. That is the basic concept of any government. So making in compliance with that principle, Government of India will not allow you to export the taxes. Only whatever the taxes incurred by you, whether you are procuring from the domestic market or whether you are importing, all those tax will be refunded to you. So earlier we are having one excellent scheme known as MEAs. Because of the WTO issues, we could not continue that scheme. But because of the MEA scheme, exporters used to have a lot of liquidity. So in order to compensate the MEAs, some other schemes, Government of India formed like ROTEP, remission of duties and taxes paid on the export products. Under this scheme, all the taxes, central and state taxes incurred by you on the fuel and mandi tax and state government imposed taxes on the electricity and stamp duty, all these taxes will be reimbursed under the ROTEP scheme. And one more thing, this is, you can see the notification given by the 17th August 2021 by the DGFT to know the complete details of that scheme actually. Next scheme is actually ROSTL, remission of rebate on state and central taxes and levies. ROSTL is for the textile sector, garments. So under this scheme you will get the various taxes paid to the central and state government. So under this you will get the reimbursement. Digitalized scripts you will get. This scheme will be implemented by the Department of Revenue, ROSTL. SCA scheme, Service Export from India scheme. So this is a scheme implemented by the DGFT, Directorate of Foreign Trade. So you may be manufacturers. Some of the exporters, service exporters also there in the SME sector actually. For them, Government of India, there is no complaint, there is no issue with the SCA scheme. Only MEA scheme, some compliance issues are come, so that's why the scheme was dropped. Whereas there is no issues with the SCA scheme. So under this SCA scheme, on your net exports, you will get the, under Mode 1 and Mode 2 services, you will get the script which can be transferable, which can be used by other exporters also. And one more most important scheme, duty exemption and remission scheme. So as an exporter, if you want to manufacture textiles, garments or whatever it may be, leather products, pharmaceutical drugs, so you have to import the raw material. So if you are importing the raw material, you have to pay the basic custom duty, IGST and all those duties. And Government of India allowing you to import of these raw material without payment of the duties under the advance authorization scheme. Under the advance authorization scheme, you can import the raw materials required for you for the physical incorporation of the export product, provided you have to use that raw material and incorporate in the export product with 15% value addition. Value addition is important, 15% value addition. Next, one more scheme is advance authorization for annual. This is similar to advance authorization only, but those who are already having the export performance in the last 2 years. This is available for only the SIAN cases, standard input output norms, where it is available. And one more scheme is DFI, Duty Free Import Authorization Scheme. Under this scheme, you can first you have to, now it is available on the post-export basis. Earlier it is on pre-import basis. But you have to first export, then after export, you have to create the value. At the time of it, you have to create the valuation of 20%, and on that you will get the duty free. That means you will get the DFI script which you can use for the import of the raw material, which is used in the exports. Here DFA scheme you have to create a valuation of 20%, whereas in advance authorization only 15% is sufficient. One more scheme where you require, in order to face the competition with the rest of the world, rest of the exporters, you need the capital goods. Your technical know should be incomparable with the rest of the countries. So, in order to make you to import the excellent capital goods available all over the world, to make these exports with the capital goods, Government of India allows you to import these capital goods without the payment of the duties actually. So you will be having the export obligation 6 times of the duty saved and 6 times of in 6 years you have to fulfill. In 6 years, your 6 times of the duty saved you have to fulfill. If you are already established an exporter, you have to maintain that average export obligation. The same EPCG is available on post-export basis also. And under foreign trade policy, EOUs and electronic hardware technology parks, software technology parks and biotechnology parks are available for the exporters to establish, where you can import and export without payment of the duties actually. Other schemes like Towns of Export Excellence, where the export turnover is more than 750 crores. If any town is recognized under Towns of Export Excellence, then they will get the MEA benefit and other benefits. Market Access Initiative. Under Market Access Initiative, you will get all funds in order to participate in the campaigns organized by this buyer-seller meets. Status holder scheme. This is in recognition of your export performance. First, you are exporting. In recognition of your export performance, current and previous 3 years you will take. On the basis of your performance, you will be rewarded for 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star and 5 star. So, under this after recognition, you will have some special and differential treatment. This is one of the recent schemes introduced by the Transport and Marketing Assistance. After this MES issue, Government of India under DGFT, we are implementing this Transport and Marketing Assistance scheme for the agriculture sector, where you are incurring some of the cost in the transportation that will be reimbursed under this TMA scheme. This is only for the agriculture sector. This is available for the chapter 1 to 24 ITC chess codes. And what is the special and differential treatment to the SMEs? What is special and differential treatment to SMEs? In granting the status holder certificate, you are especially 1 star. If you are applying for the 1 star export house, whatever the exports you have done, you will be given a double weightage. In granting the 1 star status export house, whatever the exports done by you, you will be granted double weightage. In awarding the 1 star, this is available only for the 1 star export house, not for 2 star and 3 star, 4 star and 5 star. And our Honorable Minister is very particular about this SME sector. So, Director General of Trade Remedies is there in Delhi. So what they will do, they will investigate the anti-dumping cases and anti-subsidy, countervailing duties, all these they will do. So SME sector, some issues are there. You can't file an application on your own. So DGTR allows you to file an application on behalf of your association. Individually you can't file the application for anti-dumping duty investigation or countervailing duty investigation, safeguard duty investigation. So DGTR allows your association to file an application on behalf of the exporters. These are some of the special and differential treatment given to the SME exporters. Thank you. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Thank you.
So I'll request Mr. Saurabh Bhardwaj to proceed further.
Namaskar Sathiyo. I am very thankful to SME Chamber and Chandrakant Salunkeji, who has provided this stage, this summit for all of us to share the views. We are discussing about the growth of SMEs. As earlier panelist quoted, around 63 million SMEs are in India, and they all are collectively contributing 31% of GDP, national GDP, while providing employment to 40% employees. So still we think there is a great potential in this sector for growth. When we think about the growth, in any company, any entity, any SMEs, one of the most strongest pillar is the accounting software. If we are using our accounting software systematically in planned way, we are increasing our efficiency. So our topic is how a accounting software can be benefited for SMEs, and what are the powerful tools we look for during the searching of the software. I extend my warm greetings to all of you. We are collectively meeting for the first time, most of us, after this pandemic. I hope our businesses are running now okay. I will cover here, I will share my views about the advantages of accounting software, then constraints, limitations while selecting our accounting software by SMEs, and essential features, generic features our SMEs must look for when they are searching for the accounting software. When we compare about the manual accounting and computerized accounting, we see the huge differences. When we have proper accounting solution, accounting accuracy is there. There is no human error, no great attention to the accounting manually, where we need great attention. During the accounting software, computerized accounting software, no need of great attention. Automatic document generation, if we have feeded all data in accounting software, immediately we can have invoices, orders, debit note, credit note. We can share these with our vendor suppliers immediately. And it's a real-time reporting. If we entered one sales voucher, immediately all the accounts get updated itself. Your stock is updated itself. Availability of informations across the organization, all team members having all information, whatever we have in accounting software. Management information, it becomes very easy for our management if we have proper input. Decision making is very simple. All decisions are based on the inputs. If we have right input, then good decisions will be there. The speed of completion of task. After era of GST, we all know we have to file the GSTR1, GSTR3B, then we have to reconcile our GSTR3B. GSTR 2A, 2B, GSTR 1. So all these tasks can be handled within few clicks. Paperwork is reduced, increase the efficiency. It also reduces the cost also. Whatever the task is completed in certain hours through the accounting software with the proper data feeding, we can have it immediately within few minutes or few moments. So it increases the productivity. Without accounting software, we can never imagine huge transactions to be managed properly. We never manage our GST returns to be filed on the date. We never managed our input taxes to be managed properly. Data is secured whenever we do the accounting on Excel sheet or manual accounting on registers, ledgers. So it can be go to any person take the chance of these informations. While in the accounting software, you are having the facility binding up the data with your machine, hard disk. You are having the facility of password. At each stage, user registration rights are there. And accounting software gives you the effective communication with all to whom you are communicating. Your communication is effective if you are using your accounting software in very bluntly. Whether your vendor, whether your supplier, your customers, or any statutory agencies. Now here we see what are the constraints, what are the limitations which we feel during selection of the accounting software. It is seen most of the SMEs always struggling with the fund. They required affordable product in lower budgets. Our SMEs, most of the SMEs don't have expertise in IT at that extent which we require. So they require user-friendly, easy to use software, which can be handled by any person. Mostly we have seen, we have the operators who is feeding the data is average level. Because your chartered accountant is not going to the work in the accounting software. You yourself is not going to work in the accounting software. Your operator has to work in that. So your accounting software must be user-friendly. Even a person can work without accounting skill also. Most of the SMEs are unorganized. Even we don't know the requirement at that time when we look for the software. We have to do the gap analysis of the features, and we have to have perspective of at least 5 years from now in future. What are the features should be there current, and how your business is going to extend in further 5 years. So we should write all the requirements and discussed properly. So we need a software consultant he can do all these things on our behalf. He can understand the pain of a businessman. So we need a high degree of implementation. So we need such kind of software who provides software consultancy, who listens your pain areas, who suggests a solution to your pain areas. Now, SMEs is having very high growth factor. So, software must be scalable. Suppose we are having turnover of up to 5 crore recently. Now, further goes to next level, small enterprises, up to 50 crore. Your software must be scalable and compatible to in that segment also. Now further, we goes beyond that, 50 crore to 50 crore. Your software must be accommodate all these features, all these systems, all these statutory compliances according to the requirement of that level. Now we discuss about the essential accounting features. What are the features which we look for into the accounting software whenever we are going to search the software? It must be simple, user-friendly and intuitive. Means it should tell you what is to the next, which step is to the next. Suppose we are printing, we saved the invoice. It should tell us, now you have to print, or you have to email, or you have to WhatsApp, or you have to SMS. So software must be intuitive. In-depth, comprehensive financial reports. Financial reports is available in all the softwares. Balance sheet, trial balance, profit and loss. But there is something else which our SMEs should look for. Cost centers, brokerage calculation, aging analysis. I have seen so many clients, they are sending the material to their parties, they are selling the material, and they are not following the credit limit. It seems during the year or many past several years, there is a credit limit goes beyond 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs, 20 lakhs. It looks like OD. So we have to proper manage the credit limits. Cost centers, interest calculations might be there with auto posting. Multi-location inventory. Earlier accounting software was meant only for the accounting purposes. Now, whatever the functions we are running in SMEs, it must be integrated accounting software. So inventory part should be managed into this. All books of inventory, stock ledgers, item critical levels. Critical levels means how much items we have stored in our storeroom. We are not able to sell them for the long time, but it is in the store room also. So we can set the credit limits. Multiple pricing list for items, scheme management, stock aging. That is very powerful feature for our SMEs, because stock is lying for more than 1 year, 2 years, and you already paid for that, but it is still lying. So you must track down the stock aging analysis also. production, job work, costing, consignment modules, quotation, order, indent, all these things. Exhaustive statutory reports, TDS, TCS, and now GST. So it's a very important for your accounting software to be GST compatible. It must give you clear picture of how much input you are going to receive, how much you are going to pay, in which HSN number, for which GSTN number. In many softwares, so we should, whenever we are analyzing the software, we should analyze the GST compliance also for the softwares. Payroll management, salary, different salary components, structure for different hierarchy levels, PF, ESI registers, returns, loan advances management, auto posting in accounts, configurable invoicing documents, multiple taxes in single invoice, tax inclusive billing, MRP based billing, item wise discount is there or not, markup values with item wise is there or not, and we can still configure our invoices also or not, as per our choice, whether it is full page, half page, quarter page, as per our need. Customer management, whether it is having pre-sales management or post-sales management. I will take 5 minutes more. Customer management, whether it is having pre-sales management or post-sales management, support system is also having or not. Budgets and targets, it is very essential part to take proper decision. You have to control your budgets and targets. Then multi-branches, location management. We are having offices at different locations. So whether we can manage all these branches in this software or not. Suppose we are having branch in Delhi and in Mumbai. Delhi branch is having some other GSTN number. In Mumbai, branch is having some other GSTN number. Balance sheet would be same, but GST returns could be different. So whether your software can incorporate these things or not. Definable user access rights. We are having hierarchy-wise team. So whether we can put the user access rights, someone can modify the voucher, someone can delete the voucher, nobody can change the prices of the items which we have stored. Data freezing and data binding, that is very important for this feature for our SMEs, because our accountants or operators left us and joins our competitors. They carry our data with them, and our competitors get our informations. So this feature, you can bind your software with your hard disk. If somebody has stolen your data, they can never open it. The same data will be opened with the same hard disk only. Bank date entries restrictions, voucher master approval, operator has fielded the transaction, someone has to approve this, ability to access from anywhere. Now in the pandemic, we survived our businesses because we are available online. You can access your data from anywhere due to technology, due to courage of yours. So your software must be accessible from any point. Audit trail that is introduced right now, whatever the modification is being done in the software, that is recorded, that cannot be deleted by any user. Your software is integrated with mobile, WhatsApp, emails. You have to look for whether your software is integrated or not with these new devices. User-defined dashboards, you can define dashboard as per your proprietor, managing director must have defined the dashboard in some different way. Accounts manager will define the dashboard in something other way. Salesman will define their dashboard in some other way. So we can define or not seamless export or import. Import from Excel and export to Excel is necessary because we are having so many things which we have to provide in Excel. So this is now whole features which we have to search for, look for, analyze wherever we are looking for the softwares. We have busy. All these features are provided by Busy. We have prominent clients. Thanks to all of you.
SME sector, you all of know, is playing a very vital role in the economic growth. एक लेवल, एक स्टेज ऐसा आ जाता है यहाँ पे आप थोड़ा सा स्टैग्नेंट हो जाते हो फाइनेंस के बारे में. Now there is another model which is capital access to the SMEs. How it is useful to the SMEs, how it works. Ms. Rachana Bhusari, she is a Vice President, National Stock Exchange of India. I'll ask Rachana ji to take it forward, please.
The last speaker, pre-lunch session is a very tricky session. I'll try not to, my endeavor will be not to be too much long for your lunch break. Good afternoon to each one of you here, and the earlier sessions have been quite informative, and I'm sure my session today is about alternative fundraising mechanisms. The theme today says as strengthening SMEs to enhance exports, but I would say my session covers strengthening SMEs for every activity that they want to endeavor and grow. So this is all about NSE Emerge platform. This platform was launched in 2012. All kept wondering that there's already a platform which facilitates corporates to raise funds. We've seen multiple IPOs plaguing the markets, not only after 2012, but even before 2012. So why does a separate platform for an SME exist? Why do we need a separate platform for SMEs? Undoubtedly, SMEs play a very significant role in the economy of the country, and they, by their nature, by their businesses, are very different from the larger corporates. Understanding this differentiation, a need was felt that you need to carve out a platform which will be separate for small and medium enterprises. They can tap public markets. This funding mechanism should be very complementary to the banking funding mechanism. It's not a competition that's happening with the bank. It's about being complementing the banking needs that the corporate was already raising about. And to further strengthen and to propel the growth of SMEs, this platform was launched. This platform was launched so that the SMEs have structured a different regulatory framework while they raise capital using the public markets. So most of the ecosystem that is there for the SME segment is very similar to the one that is existing for the main board. So like an SME main board IPO, you need a merchant banker who will do a due diligence on your company. Even for SME segment, that's important. The same brokers who trade in the main board will allow to be traded on the SME segment also. So taking care of the supply side, most of the ecosystem was kept safe, but the regulatory framework for SMEs was made much easier so that they were able to access capital. So in 2012, when this platform was launched, NSE introduced a different segment on the similar capital market platform. And since then, we have more than 230 companies which have listed on this platform, raising more than 3,500 crores of funds, and put together these companies have today a market capitalization of more than 25,000 crores. So that's the significant growth that we have seen in this kind of companies which are listed on the NSE Merge platform. The next logical question is what it takes to list on the NSE SME platform. It's a very simple entry criteria. SEBI has described it as a company with a paid-up capital of less than 25 crores can come and list themselves on the SME platform. NSE has added several hygiene factors like track record of 3 years, profitability of 2 years, and a positive net worth. So if you meet these criteria, you're good to go and list yourself on the Emerge platform of NSE. how different it is from the main board. That's the next question. So, considering that SMEs will not have a far outreach, they will not be able to attract a lot of investor base, the number of IPO applicants have been restricted here. You can complete your IPO with 50 people applying for an IPO, unlike the main board where you need at least 1,000 people. There's no limitation on the fund that can be raised on the SME segment. So we've seen fundraising from around 4 crores minimum to a maximum of 85 crores of the NSE SME segment. So that's the kind of fundraising. There's no limitation on fundraising, though there's a restriction on the paid up capital of 25 crores. The second big differentiation in the SME segment is that, you know, somebody in the earlier session said that it's very important that SMEs have access to funds. It's important that they have access to timely funds. And timely funds has been ensured in the regulatory framework is that there is no SEBI approval required for an SME IPO to go ahead. So what it means is that once you file your DRHP with the stock exchange gives its in principle and you're ready to go and list your IPO. So we've seen an IPO list in maximum 100 days on NSE platform from the day the company decided to go for an IPO. So that fast and seamless is the process to list on the SME Emerge platform of NSE. Another differentiation, or I would say an important factor for an SME is that, you know, the fear that I may come up with an IPO but I may not be subscribed completely, I may not be an attractive investment to an investor. So what the regulator has protected this by saying that every SME IPO that hits the market, that opens the market, has to be mandatorily undersubscribed by the merchant banker. So the onus is on the merchant banker that you complete the IPO. You open the IPO only when you're sure of garnering the interest of the investor, and if you're not, then you've got to undersubscribe the IPO. So that's taken care of, that every IPO that was launched on the Emerge platform was completed and subscribed completely, and the promoter was able to take back the funds that started raising for in the capital markets. A big differentiation, again, on the SME segment. From the investor perspective also, this market has been kept as an informed investor market. So if you can trade in a single share on the main board, on SME it's not so. Every lot of an SME segment that trades is multiples of 1 lakh and above. So this kind of an investment tool for an informed investor, not for a very retail investor. And because of the larger lot size, you know, we see lesser liquidity in the secondary markets. So to take care that there's mandatory liquidity in the secondary markets, what has been also thought about is that there will be a compulsory market making that will happen. So once your SME IPO is launched in the secondary market, there is no deprivation of liquidity. So there will be a market maker who will ensure mandatory liquidity, and you will have continuous buy and sell codes in the market so that entry and exit is not prohibited. Those are the regulatory differentiation. Now, coming to know about why should somebody list on an Emerge platform? What is an advantage the promoter gets? So the advantages are as good as a larger corporate listing on exchange. You get a higher visibility, you get a lot of credibility by being a listed entity, your corporate governance norms by mandate of being a listed entity fall into place, and that instills a lot of confidence that, you know, you are being a regulated entity, so you have higher compliances, you have better corporate governance models in place. The next reason, you know, which is very important for an SME entrepreneur to consider on listing is that, you know, listing on a main board has higher stipulations, has higher cost attached to it, and also has a higher requirement with respect to profitability. But in SME, the entry being lower, what happens is you can list on the NSE SME platform, and after 2 years of being on this platform, you gradually migrate to the main board of NSE. So that is a big advantage which most of the corporates have found it to be useful to them. And today, out of the 230 corporates that listed on NSE, around 85 of them have migrated to the main board. And the wealth creation journey has begun for them on the main board of NSE. So that's an important benefit which most of the entrepreneurs are very keen about and have been taking advantage of. There are multiple benefits, and I can go on and on, but like I said, it's my endeavor to keep it very short. 2 important and very obvious benefits that SME platform has given to the issuer or to the entrepreneur has been that you're able to have better borrowing terms the moment you're a listed entity. Because obviously an unlisted entity doesn't enjoy that kind of confidence that the banker would be able to lend very easily, but it's also about getting easy funds, but also getting cheaper funds. And the moment you have cheaper funds, you have a direct impact on your balance sheet and profit and loss account, and you have better growth prospects again there. So like I said, it's a very complementary way of doing things, and it is about even getting cheaper funds for you. The other important is SMEs are not able to attract good talent. But by being a listed entity, you can have ESOPs offered to your employees, and you can attract talent, retain talent, and that's the way that you can actually have, again, a good growing path for your company to propel your growth and be among the larger corporates of the main board. What does NSE do to create this ecosystem? So like today, I'm very thankful to Mr. Salunke and SME Chamber of India for having me today here doing this session. So we do a lot of engagement initiatives with the associations, with the stakeholders, with the ecosystem partners. I understand chartered accountants and company secretaries play a pivotal role in deciding how to go ahead in the company's life cycle, whether it's an IPO, it's a private equity, or it's a banking fund, so they play a major role. So we work with them, we talk to all of them, have an inclusive decision making on this, and walk the path with the corporate right from the day they decide that they want to list on the NSE Merge platform. We help them choose the intermediary. We do not recommend anybody, we only put them on to the right guys so that they can make a decision on their own. And then till the company is listed, we handhold them, facilitate them through the whole process. And post-listing also, we take care that they are aware of their compliances and they are timely reminded about what compliances are due to them. So NSE is committed to facilitating the small and medium enterprises to raise funds. Providing this alternate platform is one step towards it. We also have a TREADS platform, which is a joint venture with SIDBI, which allows factoring. So we committed towards facilitating SMEs to meet their financial needs and actually propel their growth to the next level. Thank you so much.